Okay, so we have a 2005 Cadillac CTS, about 170,000 miles on it. Out of nowhere, the battery power started going down. It said service charging system soon. Battery power went down to 12.0. As I kept driving, it continuously went lower down to 11, then 10.8, and then it went into battery saver mode. I put a new battery in it last month, so I figured it was an alternator. I had just replaced the alternator about a year ago, and went to the auto parts store. They told me it wasn't the alternator. I told them it was, so I bought another alternator anyways, and now I'm out $180 because they're not going to take back the other one. So after a bunch of troubleshooting for hours and hours, I found and light testing and all kinds of crap, I found the power cable that goes to the alternator, and it had this cover on it here that says 200 on it. So I was assuming that there was a fuse in here. However, this cover is riveted down on all four sides. So initially what I tried to do was check for power by placing a light tester in here. And if you can see here, I jammed the light tester into the cord, but it was too thick, so it wouldn't go through. So the hope was, if power's coming through here, powering the alternator on this end, then I'll know that this cable's okay. But I couldn't do that, so I wanted to check and see if this was a fuse in here. So I got a Dremel and I drilled out these two corners here, and then just pried the rest off. And then underneath was this break in the wire. So it looks like these two wires were held by this clamp here. But as you can see, it's a break and it's melted between both. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy another fuse and attach it in between here and try to clamp it down somehow, figure it out, and hopefully that will fix the issue. The only problem is there's very little space to move in here, and as you can see, there's no play in these wires. So I'll get the parts and I'll be back. Okay, so what I was going to do is I was going to run a power cable from the positive battery terminal, and then I was going to run it directly to the alternator so that it can power that way. But I decided to buy this fuse here. It says 200 amp on the original one, so I went ahead and just went with the 250. And I bought this battery cable lugs and some bolts. So what we're going to do is we are going to I'm going to put these on each end of the cable, and then when those holes are at on the connectors, we're going to connect each one to this with these, and then so that it's not just exposed, I got a piece of radiator hose, and I'm going to splice this open and then cover it. I know it's going to be a little tight fit, and then I'll just put some electrical tape on it or something. This is just temporary. I'm going to order a fuse cover online, and then I'll put that on later. But I'll go ahead and stop here and then put the work in. Okay, so this is what we did here. I used those battery post wire connectors, and I stripped the wires off of this here, and then the battery connector is on here, and I put 2 screws to clamp the fuse down. It had a 200 amp fuse on there, so I went ahead and put 250, And then I did the same thing on this side over here. Strip the wire down and put the cable into the post here. And then put the 2 screws and bolts onto there. And then, just for now, I'm going to put this piece of radiator hose over this portion there, just until I can get a fuse box cover. So I'm going to put the battery in, connect everything back together, and see what happens. Okay, so I started it up, connected the battery back and everything, and no dash lights, no check engine light, no battery light. And there's my battery power, 14.6, 14.7. Before I was at about it got down to a 10.6. Normally I've been at, before any issues, I was at a 14.6. So that was a significant drop. Like I said, the power just kept going down. Having issues every time I turn on the lights, turn the turn signal, the battery power kept dropping. So I did buy a new alternator for nothing, meaning that I had bought an alternator just about a year ago. And you can see back there, there's the hose that I put over the fuse. Also, I forgot to mention, there's a battery bracket that you're going to want to take off. It's holding that battery in place on this side here. You see this part right here. There's two screws right here. There's another one over here in the middle, right underneath here. Just take that off, and then the bracket will slide right out, so you can give you more room so that you can work in this area right here. Took a lot of work trying to figure out which one it was, a lot of light testing, stuff like that, but I figured it out. Feel free to comment, like below. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thanks.